Guys, one of the subscribers asked that I do another video on the short course truck, so this is the third one. The first one was when I got it, and then what I wanted to do with it, and as far as upgrades. And the second video was GPS run with my phone on 3S, and I've been running it on 3S quite a few times and no problem. So we'll just get into what I did. First thing, for 3S, you really should have a fan. So the fan is blowing right. I basically epoxied it onto the speed control, and it's blowing over those MOSFETs, the little fins. And then I added the heat sink on the motor, so the fan is also blowing across that. Because on the 11.1 LiPo, the little fan is screaming wide open and actually does lots of airflow. Now I got both of these. I ordered them similar times, and then I ordered upgrade shocks right away, two different types. This is internal spring, and then these red ones are the external spring. And I've ran these on here at first, but it's really too soft for the Rock Racer. If you notice, the front doesn't really return real good, but just, you know, when you're bouncing on the roads and stuff, it's not too bad. You know, all the little bumps keeps it up a little bit. It's just when you push it down and you let up, it doesn't really return because the tires have to slide a little bit for it to return. Now, the back is amazing. I have 120 weight oil in these gear lube, but you let up and it rises nice and slow. It's as good as my Traxxas Slash and my Traxxas Stampede I used to have. So I like these shocks on this truck. Now, if you want to, I was thinking the little springs in a ballpoint pen, just spin the end off, slide the spring on. You'd probably have to cut it down a little bit, but it would jam in between, and it would be like little helper springs. So if you wanted to lift it up more, you could do that. Or the stock shocks, use the plastic retainer and then cut the spring, and then it will help you out. But I'm happy with this truck the way it is. When I first watched videos while I was patiently waiting for it to arrive, I noticed it flipped over a lot because the stock shocks are really springy and really jacked up in the rear, and it doesn't even look right. A short course truck shouldn't have the rear end jacked up all that high. So my first thought, I ran the stock battery down here, some electrical tape and some zip ties, and that also helped with, if you watch the videos other people do, that one wheel comes up here from all the torque of the motor, which is cool, but this battery mounting it down there kind of fixed that and lowered the center of gravity. But now I run it in the normal position because these shocks are shorter and they're really soft. So when you're off-roading and going down the road, it looks very realistic. You get body roll when you turn and it floats. It's really nice. I'm really happy with this. So I guess that's about all for upgrades. The 3S makes it really fast because these are just lithium ion that it comes with. It's not a true LiPo, so it doesn't flow as much juice. The one I'm using is a 40C rating for the amount of power it flows, basically. So that's what I did on that. Now on these, the shocks are mostly aluminum, but down here is plastic. So where that threaded shaft goes into the plastic, on both of them, both shocks at different times pulled out of there. So trying to find that little black retainer and the black spring out in the dirt, that was kind of tough to do. So I did a test. I did epoxy on one and Loctite on the other. Well, the next time out, the Loctite one let go because that's more for metal thread locking. So then I did all four shocks with a little bit of two-part epoxy on the bottom. So that's their downfall. But they're nice. You know, this one has enough spring, it pops the front end back up. When I let go, it all pops up. It's a quick return. I do have 120 weight oil in it, but at least they're not real bouncy. And it lowered it a little bit so it doesn't flip over as easy as when it had those really tall, really pogo stick bouncy shocks. So that's the great thing about WLs. They come out of the box really fast compared to my other budget ones. The Zinglehongs are not as fast as these, or the WLtoys not quite as fast, but just some little upgrades, some shocks. But you know, these needed a little work here. If you they're a little weaker. If you want to add some helpers, you can too. But next up, we'll do some gravel off-road runs with this guy, just to kind of see how it is. I don't bash it too hard because on my website, Lazada, they don't have a spare body at the moment. Every other part is real easy to get because it shares the same chassis as this one, but just taking it easy on my body. So maybe you guys can put a like on here and subscribe, and we'll keep on testing these budget vehicles. So thank you.